Alison is a speaker, a truth teller, a storyteller. She only talks about her embodied experiences and learnings. She shares her journey on stage and in her writing so that you can be inspired, so that you can step into the light of who you were truly meant to be. Alison has been a sociologist, a political activist, a journalist, a change management consultant, and an entrepreneur for 22 years, building up a company from a field in Amalgam, Johannesburg, to an award-winning company featuring in entrepreneurial magazines, on radio, and even television. She is a curious explorer of conscious entrepreneurship and what she calls identity intelligence. She is known as the reinvention revolutionary. But to you, she is just Alison, someone who can untether your untapped potential and help you unleash your magnificence into the magic of your reinvented world. Alison Weihe.
My name is Alison Weihe. I am a truth teller, a storyteller. I only talk about my lived experiences and how neuroscience has deepened my understanding of the world. You see, most people who talk about manifestation talk about their villas, their 13 cars in the driveway, and their rock star wives. Well, the truth is, I don't have a Lamborghini. I don't have an empire. I don't even have a webinar to upsell you on. Sorry, that's the truth. But I do have a life of such abundance I never dreamed of. And in the next 15 minutes, I want you to put away your phones and put away your pens, because it's just you and me in this room today on a Saturday morning. And if you remember one critical sentence that stays with you, I will have lived my purpose. You see, 22 years ago, everyone said, what on earth do Friedel and Alison know about running a business? Give them 6 months. My mother-in-law, who I call Grossie and who I love to bits, so no mother-in-law jokes today, but she didn't speak to me for 4 months because I was taking her son away from the other son. And he was a businessman. I mean, he knew how to run a business. He had a BCom and he's still a brilliant businessman. I had been a political activist, a trade unionist like Dr. Bambani and many other things. And my husband was multi-skilled and multi-talented. Grossie said to me, you know, Ali, Friedel, he's good with his hands. I know Bruce is going to have a field day with that one. But we were both voted least likely to succeed in our families. And I don't have a more glamorous picture than this. We started on a field in Amalgam. 22 years later, we have an award-winning brand that's featured in entrepreneurial magazines, on radio and on TV. A great staff and an incredible management team that I could not be more proud of. A mere 10 years ago, I was a far more complex workaholic couch potato. I'd battled yo-yo dieting for so much of my life. I'd battled eating disorders when I was younger. And I'd achieved a certain amount, but I was still apologetic. I hadn't owned a lot of the things I had achieved. Now, I'm an ambassador for integrated living. I've run 32 kilometers races. I'm fit and I'm healthy and I'm strong. And I now have a loving relationship with food. Sometimes it borders on the erotic. Flavors so denied. Flavors so denied. But it has been an internal transformation that reflects on the outside. And the language that I speak to myself and the way in which I live my life is very different. Moving is a privilege. It's not a punishment. It's become my identity. And at 62, I feel 10 years younger than I did at 52. And my husband says he far prefers the second wife. She's way more fun, but that's a whole nother keynote. 2 years ago, a mere 2 years ago, I posed outside this poster in Mine Valley, Estonia. I didn't feel extraordinary at all. I hadn't owned that I was an entrepreneur. I hadn't owned that I was a businesswoman. But something in that summit, speaker after global speaker, shifted something in my soul. And I sat on a rock behind the castle walls on a Sunday night, and I mumbled something about leadership into the camera. I mumbled something about leadership. That's how invisible I felt. Now I'm speaking on international panels and summits. 3 different transformations, 3 different journeys: entrepreneurial, health, and speaking. What is the common thread? I'm only going to touch today on 3 points with one final closing point. And the starting point of understanding manifestation is understanding that 94% of our behavior is driven by our unconscious. So if there is no alignment between our conscious and our unconscious, manifestation can't happen, because your unconscious will say, who are you kidding? You want to be a speaker. You want to be this. You want to be, who are you kidding? And the start of manifestation is self-worth. That's where the magic happens. That's where the magic happens. A mere year ago, I sat in an auditorium in Mine Valley, Pula, Croatia, and a lady came onto the stage. Her name was Sonia Chiquette. She was the author of 27 books. 27 books. She didn't reference a single book. She didn't have a single slide. And she held us spellbound for 3 hours with one loo break. And she spoke about the barking dog in your head, the barking dog that told you who you should be, how you should be, the barking dog of other people's voices. Who of you have been drowned out by the barking dog of other people's perceptions of you? I want you to raise your hand or put it in the chat room to own the barking dog, because we all have it. And 1 week later, I was walking in this charming little medieval town on a hilltop in northern Croatia after the Global Summit. It was this arty, creative town. And I came across this beautiful store with steampunk furniture and recycled stuff. And I'm an arty and a creative. And my eye drew to this symbol. It symbolized for me the symbol of a barking dog. And on the back was an old clock, a timepiece. And I thought to myself, am I going to live with the sound of the barking dog drowning me out for the rest of my life? Or am I going to use my time here on earth to make a difference on this planet? You see, we all have the barking dog. It creates fear, anxiety, stress, overwhelm, but above all, lack of courage. And courage is the bridge to great things, but you have to feel worthy of them. So what's the antidote to the barking dog? It's activating your inner Einstein. There's a wonderful speaker called John Assaraf, and he's based in Israel, and he talks about activating your inner Einstein. Because what a lot of people don't know is that Einstein was actually quite philosophical, not just a brilliant scientist. And he asked a critical question, and that is the universe friendly? Is the universe friendly? Because you see, manifestation is not wishful thinking, and it's not attending endless seminars about other people's content, and that's what I had to learn. Manifestation is a verb, not a noun. It's manifest action. And Lisa Lickle says the true essence of life is living in duality, simultaneously embracing your magnificence and your dysfunctional shadow, embracing your Einstein, and acknowledging and taming your barking dog. You see, there are 3 different forms of intelligence. There's EQ, there's IQ, and there's what I call IDQ, identity intelligence. And that's when your levels of consciousness are so aligned, it's your spiritual core. Just like you get strong in sport and have a core, it's your spiritual core. And when your vision and your why are so strong that your beliefs and your comfort zone, what John Assaraf calls your set point, and your daily consistent habits are there to fuel your vision and your why. And goals are merely a reference of where you are on the journey, because goals can be like a diet and identity is a lifestyle. You see, when we started off on our journey of entrepreneurship, we were never, ever driven by the need to make money. That was not what fueled us. We were driven by the pursuit of excellence. And when I started my health journey, it was not about the scale or what I looked like. It was about my identity to be strong inside. And when I began my speaking journey, I realized that the message was more important than the medium, and I was merely the messenger. And that's why I stand in front of you today, because I'm just the messenger. I'm just the messenger. Finally, find tribes that grow you, that love you and grow you. They are the wings beneath your flight. I'm involved in Mind Valley Global Leadership, a whole network of global speakers and writers. And I'm a member of the Professional Speakers Association. And there are tribes within those tribes. And one of those tribes is the tribe that's here today. And they are the wings beneath my flight. You see, I see angels everywhere. The universe is friendly. Optimism is a mindset. Elon Musk said, I would rather be optimistic and wrong than pessimistic and right. I must have manifested to speak first today, or else it was a miracle. I'm not sure which. Because I have an important message for all the speakers to follow, and that is this. This is not a competition, and life is not a competition, because comparison is the death knell of courage and creativity. It is the absolute death knell of courage and creativity. It is the barking dog. We are all called to speak on our respective areas. We are custodians of hope, as Zanele recently said at one of our conventions. We are conductors of courage. We are curators of creativity. And Yoka, you are called upon to mend fractured teams because you are whole and you embody to me identity intelligence. And Virginia, you are called upon to help us deal with the invisible scars we have. And it is a privilege and an honor to walk alongside you in this journey from here and forwards. And Ed, as your vision fades, you teach us how to see the world in new perspectives, new paradigms, new ways of seeing. You see, we are ambassadors of love. We are ambassadors of love. The love of wildlife conservation, the love of gender sensitivity, the love of vanquishing violence, the love of forgiveness, and the love of leadership. And we are all divinely and uniquely appointed. We manifest messages that move humanity forward. Optimism is a craft we hone to deliver light in these times, in this complex land of South Africa and on this earth. You see, I see angels everywhere. We are called. We are called. Thank you.